So let's go ahead and repeat over here this client section, right? Our work section, sorry, our portfolio. But we're just going to place it in owl and see how it looks like in owl, right? So here what we want to do is that, again, as always, use a generic, right? And we're going to say that we're going to be using a generic section over here. And I'm going to call this, I don't know, something ID. It probably should be something like, again, work, right? But I'm going to say this is going to be work carousel, right? So something like this. And over here, I'm just going to say, still, this is going to be our portfolio, right? Portfolio over here like this. And over here, what we would want to do is we would want over here, again, to place something like medium. And we're going to say this is going to be 12 columns over here like this. And again, we're going to create a div that's going to be holding an owl. So we're going to say ID, right? And in this case, we're just going to say owl work, right? This is going to be the name of our ID over here like this. And then we right away need to add two classes. And we're going to say that those classes are going to be something like, again, owl carousel, right? That's going to be the standard class, right? Over here like this. And then we'll right away add owl. And we're going to say that this is going to be theme, right? So those are the two classes. And then within this div, we're going to create another div, right? Which is going to be, I don't know, I'm going to give it a class name, something like owl items, right? Over here like this. And then we're going to place 4 images, right? So we're going to create 4 of these, and we're going to create the same images that we're using over here, right? So we go image, right? We go source, and over here we would write something like images, right? We have over here, then we have a portfolio, right? And again, I renamed it pick 1, 2, 3, so it's easier, so I don't need to write about a cow that is, resting on a mountain or something like that, right? Whatever the name was, right? So we just go over here, pick 1, right? And alternative, we're just gonna write this is gonna be something like a work, right? So I'm not gonna name each image separately, right? And the only thing we need to do is actually copy this a couple of times, right? So it's 2, and then it's 3, and then it's 4, right? Because we have 4 images, right? So here we're gonna change this one to 2, this one to 3, and this one to 4, right? And now we have everything is set up. Here we can write that this is what was the name of the section, right? Name, let's say a work carousel section, right? Work, and this is going to be a carousel or here like this, and this is going to be the end of work carousel section, right? Work carousel section, right? So index HTML is fine, right? The one thing that I want to point right away that we're gonna have to fix it over here, right? When we're gonna create some special rules for CSS, right? So the carousel is not gonna be so much jammed all the way up over here, right? Because it's probably gonna be the same thing over here happening, right? So we want to avoid that. So just telling you that this will be setting up over here in the CSS, what we maybe didn't do in the last video, right? So over here is going to be pretty easy, right? So we go back to a script, right? Because first we need to initialize our owl carousel, right? So over here we can see that this is going to be owl work, right? So just in case I can copy this one, so right, so I don't need to go back and look for it, right? So we go to script, right? And over here you can see that this is going to be a owl logo, right? But what we can do over here, we can just copy this whole thing, right? And this is now going to be not the owl logo, right? But we're going to say that this is going to be a owl work over here like this. And we're going to say that we would want a different ID, right? And if I remember correctly, right, owl work was our ID, right? So we just save it over here and let's check it out. And of course, right now we have it, right? So now I can see that right away it has a smart speed, right? So it's moving pretty slowly and everything, right? So again, the only thing is I would want to check over here to fix this in the CSS, these margins, right? Add a little bit more padding, right? And over here, maybe let's change the background color, right? We're not going to be really going crazy on styling this because I really like how this owl anyway looks, so we're just going to leave it the way it is, right? These sections are more about how the owl works, not really, not as much to do with actual maybe CSS, right? So over here, again, we're just going to make this one smaller a little bit, right? And we can close the script for now, right? And let's just go back to main CSS. And over here we have a clients, right? So let's say that the clients, right? We want to select a client and we want to select a header class, right? And over here you can see that this is going to be a header class, right? And the only thing that I'm going to say, this is going to be a padding bottom, right? And I'm going to say this is going to be something like 20 pixels, right? Just so it looks a little bit better, right? And over here we're going to do the same thing with a section that we just created. And I believe, and now I need to go back and check because I actually forgot. Work carousel section, right? So we go over here and I was going to copy this one, right? And we're going to say that we're going to create again room, right? And over here we're going to say this, we're going to create 2 comments, right? And over here we're just going to paste it, work carousel section, right? And we're just going to copy this one, right? And over here what we're going to do is we're going to write some rules, right? So the first thing probably what I would want to do is select this work carousel, right? And I'm going to say that I'm going to make it a background, that gray one, right? So which one was the gray one? It was this one, right? So we're just going to copy and paste it, right? And we're going to go back down here and we're going to say background color, right? And we're going to copy and paste this, and now we have over here this gray color, right? Now what we want to do is obviously again work on this background, right? And so where is our underline, right? We're just going to copy this one. I'm going to say copy and we're going to paste, right? And over here we're going to say that this is going to be a work carousel over here, right? Font awesome background, and you can see we don't want white smoke, right? We want a over here this one CEDO0CE, right? So now we have that one, and after that probably what we would want to do is we would want a over here the same header, right? So again we're just going to copy this one, copy and paste, right? And we're just going to paste it over here, and we're going to say that this is going to be a work carousel, right? Carousel over here like this, right? And now we have over here this padding also, right? So again, I'm not going to be changing the size of the image, right? All the scripts we already created what we needed. Now remember that the one thing for the script, right? If we go back over here, obviously you can see that this is saying this is going to be 5 items once it's a bigger screen, right? So maybe let's just change this one to 4, because as you can see over here with the logos, we had actually 7 logos. I purposely made it more, right? But over here you want to actually have 4 of them because you don't have 5, right? So either we add that 5th one, right? Or over here I just change it to 4, right? So this is what we can always do, right? And now that we're done again with our customers and our portfolio, right? And maybe let's write that this is going to be our portfolio carousel, right? So let's go back over here and we're going to go all the way to the bottom and we'll find it where it is. Our portfolio carousel, right? Carousel, right? And now let's go and actually make a quote sections or section where we're displaying what people say about us.